that good? Is that a crisp one? Okay.
Not that crisp, but it's okay.
No, I'm not. I can't like get the. How you do that? Yeah, I can't. Wait. I don't know. Whatever. This is the nonsense that we usually cut out at the very beginning of every episode. Usually there's a few minutes of this kind of stuff that happens, and then we.
I always like that little banter that goes on, and then the stripes come across the screen.
Yeah, it's like, okay, now we're actually gonna do things. Usually it happens at the end too.
Okay, good.
Where like we go off on some kind of funny tangent, or Jared does most of the time, and then we finally end. But
nice.
Okay, great. Well, I'll give you a little intro, and then I'll let you intro yourself.
Okay.
This is the one and only Kurt Schuler. If you are a van owner, or if you're just present in the van owners group on Facebook, looking at Vandoit, and you join that group, you probably know who Kurt is. He's kind of like a star student of the Vandoit community.
Actually, not very many people know who I am.
Well, that's surprising.
Because I'm my Van doing it, or Michigan Van doing
that's
it.
True. That's true.
I come in as a pseudonym, so people don't know Kurt Schuler.
And he's usually. It's such a shame. You should get to know him. He's a great guy. But you're usually one of the first people to comment on things when people have questions, and yeah, you're just like the first to hype people up too when they get their vans, and it's a really exciting day for them. So Kurt is a teacher and a cheerleader and just like a pioneer in so many ways. So I'm excited to get to pick your brain a little bit and just have you share with some people. You're the first owner after Rob, other than Rob, that we've had on the podcast. So this is still a very new thing, and this is weird because Jared's not here. So
right.
Yeah, you're kind of replacing him. We kind of thought double weird. Yeah, I don't think we really have anybody else who would be quite as fit to take his place and sit in his fancy chair. So
well, thank you.
It's very exciting.
I'm honored and I'm humbled actually. So thank you very much. Yeah.
Well, is there anything just to start off that you want to share with people to kind of give a glimpse of who is Michigan Van doing it?
Yeah. Thank you. Well, just a little history about myself. My wife and I, we got our first van in October of 2019. And around that time, there were a few other owners that were kind of getting together and saying, we ought to really create a group, a Facebook group. So it was Zach Richter out of Park City, Utah. He unfortunately no longer has his van because his girls were growing up and he had all kinds of sports and they just didn't have time to use the van. But Zach actually was the one who spearheaded the Vandoit Owners and Future Owners Facebook group. So kind of got to give him credit for that. But I sort of, took it on, and Keith Huffman and I and a few others, we thought, in addition to having this Facebook group, it would be fun to also have events.
Yeah.
So that's when we kind of took a page out of Harley Owners Group's playbook and decided to create our own Vandoit Owners Group.
Mm-hmm.
VOG didn't sound very good, so we went with Vox, VOX, which is, I think is Latin for voice. So, yeah. And the X is a play on experience. So Vandoit Owners Experience. So that's really what, kind of like the Jimi Hendrix experience. This is what we've got going
exactly
here.
What Vox is like.
So anyways, that's kind of just a real quick synopsis of how maybe I got to where I am today as far as my involvement with Vandoit. But no, you're right. I mean, I do, I definitely pay attention to what's going on the Facebook group. I'm always excited when somebody takes delivery of their van, or even if they have a question, certainly we always encourage them to put in a support ticket. Yeah. But I know, if those people are anything like me, they're impatient as hell and they want the fix right now. Yeah. So what's kind of cool about the group is, I believe there's over 4,000 members now on the Facebook group. And I would say probably maybe 100 that are, I would say, active, very active.
Yeah.
And a lot of those 100, they've been around long enough, and more than likely they have either had that same issue or have heard and seen the resolution of that issue. So I sometimes think, maybe we can give the person, that peace of mind, tell them how to fix their issue. And then, of course, you guys back it up with your support. But there's certain stuff out there that we cannot, help people with. And it's definitely put in a ticket. And thank you to you guys. I mean, you really do, even on the weekends, I know that, those tickets and questions are monitored. So that's really important. But Yeah. So, anyways, we got our first van in 2019, and immediately went west and just really fell in love. I mean, my wife, she doesn't spend a lot of time, traveling around the country with me in the van. I think she's pretty excited though about this new edition of the van, Vandoit 2.5.
Yeah.
So
which is a very exciting topic that we will get to.
Yeah,
in
we'll
just a minute.
we'll touch on that in a little bit. Yeah, I mean, all this whole winter and early spring, she's been saying, I just want to get out there and boondock. I just want to get out there and boondock. So we've got some, areas
it took all
around
these years, and now
I know,
she's sold.
I know. Well, here's the thing. I'm a little bit of an extrovert. Okay.
You really? Are you sure?
Kind. My wife Diane, I love her. Opposites attract, right?
Yeah. Yep.
She's very soft-spoken, quiet, reserved. She's very reserved. She kind of, I think, hopefully we complement each other.
Yeah.
Okay. But she always says to me, Kurt, why do you have the need to have so many friends? And it's like, honey, these are like-minded people. These people are as excited about the Vandoit experience as I am.
Yeah.
So, I will tell you, and I know other people have, and you guys have talked about it, the relationships that I have made and other owners have made, these are going to be lifelong relationships. And these are people that I never would have met. And I would have to say, some of them, I have a very close relationship, maybe even better than relationships that I've had for 10 or 15 years or 20 years. So it's very cool. But yeah, I think I told Jared a long time ago that, when I find something or come across something that I like or that I enjoy or that I think is a great thing, I really, I get behind it sort of in a big sort of way. This is not my real job,
Yeah.
I do have a day job.
We're not paying him to say these things.
I do have a day job, but sometimes that day job is just monotonous enough that it's like, I'm going to check the Facebook group real quick. Or
actually, what do you do for work? I don't know if I've ever asked.
Well, I've got an investment management firm and a trust company in Northern Michigan.
Okay, well, that sounds so exciting.
Every
minute of every day is a party.
In a way, it can be very exciting.
Yeah.
And I've got 3 partners, so we all kind of have our own passions. One of my partners loves to sail, so he takes a lot of time off in the summer to go sailing. I love to do the van thing, so I love taking a couple of weeks in the fall to be able to go to Moab and that sort of thing. So we all complement each other very well. But I just I feel that you guys, now it's time for me to talk about you guys. And very few companies have I ever dealt with have been so customer focused, so willing to go above and beyond to make things absolutely perfect, just the way their customers or clients would expect it to be. So, and I know that one thing, my wife grew up in a very Christian family, and I just I know that there's a lot of you here at Vandoit that are Christian people. You just care about people. There's just that innate fondness for people, and that means a lot. You're just you're good people. You're good people, and I don't mean to go off on a religious rant here because I know some people might say, well, I can show you all kinds of hypocrisy, but anyways, you guys are always out to do what's best for the customer, not what's best for you guys. And I think that says a lot. And
thank you, Kurt.
I think that's why you have a lot of very, very, very happy, loyal customers. I don't think I'm the only one coming back for 2.5. I think we got some 3.0s going right now.
I think Lana and Dennis, this will be 3, right?
Yep. And I'm sure.
Yeah.
So
it's like I love the friendly competition. That's something we've talked about on these before. Some of these episodes where we talk about our owners, which it's pretty much every episode, like you said. But sometimes we talk about that, like we show up to Vox and it's like who has the newest and coolest stuff,
right?
And trying to see what everybody else has going on, their setups and new products and stuff. So
yeah, I think I'm going to be very, very content with what I have. And even if the Joneses come out with something better than me, I don't think I'm going to try to keep up with them. So.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, we'll see where that's at in 6 months, and we'll see if he's back. Maybe he'll be here for another episode. We'll be like, well, I ate my words.
Oh yeah, but no, I I love what you guys have done to the van, and if I mean, we could talk a little bit about that right now, but yeah, I think a couple things. So real quick, I do want to make a plug for. We're going to do we're doing a box event in June up in northern Michigan.
Yeah.
This will be, I think, the 3rd year in a row we've done it up there. Antrim County, Bel Air area. Got about 24 people coming right now, which is...
That's awesome.
Yeah. And we had pretty much a full house coming for Moab. I think we reserved 3 group sites, which would be 30 vans.
Wow.
And I think we've got 27 or 28 vans.
Yeah, Moab is catching up to Bentonville at this point.
It is. It is. You know, Moab is... It's kind of... I mean, with Bentonville, you guys have access to that field, that Applegate property. I mean, we could have triple the number of vans that we've... I mean, I think Bentonville, you could do 120, 140, 50 vans maybe.
Yeah.
And that is such a great... It's such a great location, and people love Bentonville, you know? It's
just such like great small, hometown kind of vibes, but it's not actually small with like nothing in it. There's plenty to do. That's actually something we'll be talking about in a couple weeks. It's just like why we love Bentonville so much. All right. Just in general, why we love it in the cycling community and all that it has to offer. So totally agree. It's a great place.
Yeah, so that's and I think last year Connie Schuneman and her husband, they did she took the reins and they did a box out in Pennsylvania, which was in mid-September.
Yeah.
And I think 6 or 7 people showed up to that one and they had a great time.
I love that our owners are so empowered to just like do those. I mean, like you said, you guys kind of started those, like owners as a whole started those, and we picked up the one that was just a few hours away from our headquarters, because we wanted to be a part of it. We care so much about customer satisfaction and also because a lot of our employees, like people who work here, like I love going to it. I mean, I organize the whole thing, but if I didn't, I'd still want to go. I think it's so fun, and we get to experience a little slice of like what our owners do, by getting to go stay in the van for 3 or 4 days, and some people make extended vacations and all those things. Is just so great. But from that, the people who come in new, they see that's maybe their first experience, and then they're like, oh, well, we could do something like this on the East Coast. We could do something like this, on the West Coast. We could do, just like endless possibilities anywhere, because we have at least a van in every state. So like all 50 states has definitely more than one at this point, probably the exact numbers, but there's just so much opportunity there for you guys to
totally agree.
Take it on and run with it.
I've had some people, they'll make a post on the Facebook group and say, oh, why can't we have one out in Pacific Northwest, or why can't we have one, down in the southeastern part of the United States?
Why can't we?
And I'm saying, you know what? Here you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I am 100% willing to help people out, kind of guide them through this process, but that's how these things get done, and really they're not that hard to do.
Yeah.
It's we're all kind of, mature adults, and we all come in and, self-govern and self-police, and we kind of just, there's no strict schedules.
Yeah.
But I do want to come back to Bentonville real quick and just say, it was just amazing, the event this last year, here in April. And it was so much fun seeing you and Austin and Jayla, being out there for that whole time, the 3. I mean, you guys you were having a blast, and that was fun. You guys weren't stressing about anything. It was just, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It was super fun. It's a lot of work, like leading up to it, just because, you want it to be perfect. You want everyone to enjoy it. Like, are people going to like these activities? All that, but so worth it. And you guys give great feedback too. You give feedback in love, which I appreciate. Everyone who filled out that exit survey,
did you get my one about hot
terrible. Coffee? I did. We're working on the coffee, Kurt. I promise.
No, you know what? It really wasn't
coffee,
that big of a deal.
Comment below if you've ever worked with those giant industrial urns, because they are the worst.
I did bring 100 cupper with me.
Yeah. And you said it didn't even work.
No, it's a pain in the ass. I can see why you guys don't want to do coffee.
Yeah, so combine getting up at like 5 a.m. trying to make coffee for all these people, and then it doesn't even work. And oh my goodness,
you want hot coffee? Just make your own hot coffee in Bentonville.
Yeah. Anyway,
should we jump to 2.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how much time we have.
Yeah, Austin, how much time do we got?
6 minutes left.
How much time do we have, Austin?
6 minutes.
Okay, thanks.
He's been dying to do
All
that.
right. Sorry, I'm a little bit sweaty here today.
It's humid in the shop,
is,
and so it's even
not
worse
bad.
in the van.
It's not bad, but a little bit about me here. Let's get back to me. No. I woke up this morning at 3:00, Traverse City, Michigan.
You are insane.
The nice thing about it is I timed myself. I left my house at 4:53.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You got up at 3 though?
Well, I got 3:30. I had to have coffee.
Gosh. Oh right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hot coffee. None of that iced coffee.
I'm an iced coffee gal.
I drove out of my driveway at 4:53.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at my watch as I had already cleared security.
Oh no.
5:14.
Whoa. How close do you live to the airport?
Very close. So it took me.
Wow.
It took me 21 minutes to drive from my house and be through security. So
that's crazy.
Yep. Got to Detroit, then Detroit to Kansas City here. Landed at 9:45. So again, I'm a little sweaty. I've been running around.
And it is currently 3:10.
Yep. And so the reason I'm here is I brought my van down over the winter, and I have a 2020 EL do model, and I was just very intrigued with everything that was going on with the move model. So I said to the guys, I said, could we do a remodel? And they did. They probably wished I would have just said, "Can I get a new van?" Maybe I'm going to say I wish I could have got a new van. No.
Can we?
Yeah. So anyways, they have converted my 2020 EL do into a 2020 passenger move EL. So I'm very excited to see it. I came out and looked at it earlier today, and I think Austin has a whole bunch of video of me just saying "wow." So
yeah,
I think
we're gonna throw up the wow counter. I think it was at least 20 times.
But I'm very, very excited about it. You've all probably seen pictures of the move with the wall paneling, and I did get the flares, so I'm going to be able to sleep east-west, as they say.
How tall are you?
I'm 6 foot.
Okay.
Yeah, I probably didn't need them, but they look cool.
What's extra room?
They look cool. Yeah.
Well, that too. Yeah. They look cool, and you got the cool Vandoit, like dark blue Vandoit that matches your wrap.
Yep.
On the side, which is awesome.
So needless to say, these guys have done an amazing job on the van. As always, I really didn't tell them what to do. I just said, make it as if it's yours type of thing.
Yeah.
So, and they did. And it's, anybody who has a Vandoit van, how this team here operates. So I'm just, thrilled to death to be here. I'm very, very excited. I think, again, my wife didn't mind the industrial look, but I think she is going to like the more finished look. Mm-hmm. The lighting, all of the lighting adjustments. It's just a little bit of a, I don't know, a little classier, smoother look, I guess I could say. But again, certainly nothing wrong with the do or the live that I had prior. So you guys just, you make great vans, and they're very versatile, and you know how I feel about it. Yeah. I love it.
Let's continue, because you're talking about how great we are, so I want to hear it.
Yeah.
So this is 2.5 is what we're calling it.
Right.
Talk about 1 and 2. So 2 is obviously the do that you just mentioned. But
yes.
Maybe like time frame of pickup, when you upgraded, and what those looked like.
Yep. First one was a 2019. It was a live, and it was a Quigley 4x4. I realized I didn't really need the 4x4. I didn't want to take my van to places that was going to require 4x4.
Yeah.
Because I get nervy enough as I'm going down a gravel road or a bumpy road, and stuff's flying around all over the place. I don't do a good job securing my my goods in transit. But so it was a 2019 live, high roof. All of my vans have been high roof, and then in May of 2022, prior to I believe the first box, is when I picked up 2.0, which is the EL do, and I think what happened with that is I realized, you lose bed space with the do. You gain a lot more functionality, but because of the cabinetry on the driver's side, the bed platforms, even when they're fully deployed,
it's a full size.
They're not very wide. Certainly not really wide for 2 people, especially when one of them is me. So this thing, the hydraulic pad raises and lowers, and I think it's damn near a king that's in that thing,
Yeah.
or can be.
Yeah.
So I didn't go with the drawbridge, which I was really
Mhm.
kind of debating. I did end up going with the hydraulic bed.
Yeah.
I think I had seen Greg Laban's, and I really liked how that looked, and I like how
Yeah.
that section folds backwards, or you can remove it,
Yeah.
and it gives you that much more
Yeah.
area.
Yeah, so from the live to the do, the biggest reason was just more modularity, basically.
Yeah, I think I wanted to give it a shot. I thought, if I'm going to be traveling like with, my friend Brad or my son Liam, it would be nice if we both had a platform to sleep on rather than having to sleep on the gear slide or something like that. So, for that purpose, it worked great. But when it was like, okay, I'd really like Diane to come along, I just realized, we need a little bit bigger. I snore. And even with a CPAP, I do snore a little bit. So, on a narrow bed, I'm like, snoring right in her ear. And that doesn't bode well for a good night's sleep for her.
We feel for you. Now I understand why you may not love van life. You may have been...
She's going to love van life. She's going to learn to love it.
Oh, man.
I'm just going to keep buying more vans until...
Eventually we'll get there. Oh, my gosh. That's so funny.
Yeah, so I'm glad to be here today.
Yeah.
I'm glad I was able to come in on a Friday. My plan is I'm going to work with Jared on the programming of the lighting. That's really cool. And then by the time, I'll just meander out of here and start heading north by northeast.
Yeah, are you just going straight home? Or
yeah, I'm going to go straight home, but I'm gonna route it where I avoid highways and avoid tollways and all that.
So how long of a drive is that?
It would be 13 hours if I drove highway expressway. It's probably going to be more like 15 and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
So will you just do that straight, or were you going to take...
No, I'll probably drive a few hours
days?
yet tonight.
Okay.
Kind of get up,
At 3 a.m., like Kurt does.
It could be.
He gets up early.
It
that was kind of a joke, but it's very serious.
Yeah. No, I do. Well, I go to bed early too, so.
That's also true. Yeah, I think there was a night at Vox that is like 7:30, and Kurt was down for the count. But then bright and early, well, actually, maybe the sun's not even up yet. 4 a.m. Where's the coffee?
I had to go to bed. My shoulder was bothering me.
Oh, no. Oh, man.
All right. Well, are we at overtime or?
Yeah, you're 22 minutes.
All right.
2 minutes over.
Oh,
all right.
Well, great having you here. Super excited. Hopefully
Kaylee,
hopefully we have a full van tour, or at least like some kind of video of what his new van looks like.
Yep.
We should have done some before and after shots. That would have been sick.
I might be able to give you some.
That would be great.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll definitely post that, so just be on the lookout. And yeah, this could be you at some point. If you're a current owner and you're interested, let us know. If you're not an owner yet, maybe this could be you on your pickup day for your 1.0.
And it doesn't have to be a full wholesale facelift. You know, if there's just little certain things that you're thinking you might want to incorporate into your van, I think, that's very, very doable and feasible. Little tweaks can, especially with the stuff that you guys have been developing over the years, it can all be implemented into a current build. So.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well,
Good.
Thank you, Kurt.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We're out.